What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be ranking the items in Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 2 on a tier list and letting you know why I ranked them the way I did and what I think of the item. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below, which item you disagree with or how you would rate these items. And then also, I didn't include every healing item in the game right now because a lot of them are just very standard. I feel like I don't really need to talk about like bandages, med kits, minis, big pots, and then like the fish as well. So I'm mostly just going to be talking about the newer healing items or the ones that changed this season when it comes to that. The first thing we're going to start off with is going to be the Hollow Twister AR and the Striker Burst Rifle. I think both of these ARs are incredible, and I did make a video few days ago kind of talking about the ARs and how I feel about them, but I feel like both are great options. You're really not going to go wrong one way or the other. I feel like I am kind of leaning more towards the burst this season, but they're close enough for me where I think rarity actually becomes a factor. If I have like a green twister or a purple burst, I'm going to go for the burst, and if the inverse is that is true, I'm probably going to go for the hollow. So I feel like rarity matters more to me only because of how close I already rank these weapons. And then it could also just be day to day. Like some days I might feel like I am frying with the burst and use it more. Other days, maybe I'm not feeling as good with it and then I run the hollow more. But either way, I think both are good and you really aren't going to go wrong one way or the other, regardless of which you pick. The next item is going to be the mobility items. I'm going to put shockwaves at S tier. That's not a surprise to anybody if you watch my videos. I think they are very, very good. I've always been a huge fan of shockwaves. But especially with this season, we have less mobility than we did before. And I feel like that makes shockwaves shine even more because the other mobility items that we'll get to in a moment aren't as good of a just like, I need to get out of this bad situation mobility item. Like if you are in a terrible spot, the shockwaves are the best item for that. And with how zero build works, there's going to be times where you just get caught off guard or you get bad timing or, an unfortunate situation happens. And shockwaves are great for those situations. Also, if you need to, push somebody, they're great for that. If you need to reposition because of what zone is doing, it's great for that. You can shockwave people out of bushes. You can shockwave them out of bunkers. You can shockwave them out from behind cover. There's so much that you can do with shockwaves in addition to them just being the best mobility item in the game right now. So I rank them S tier. The bat, I would also put S tier. Again, if you've been playing this season, this probably isn't a surprise to you. It's very good. It's a very enjoyable mobility item to use. I like sprinting around and jumping with it, especially when I have this gold rush boon that we'll get to later on. And then also the melee aspect of it is quite good. The charged attack, a lot of people have been struggling with. If you played last season, it's very similar to the Typhoon Blade. So I have it at S tier. The other mobility item, the launch pads, I guess I'm going to put at C tier. I don't ever want to use these. I feel like the only time I've ever used them is when I am leaving a POI and they happen to be on the ground and then I throw it on the ground and then pad to like a car or something. But I never really want to carry these. It would maybe be a little bit more viable in like squads because you can throw down one pad and then the entire team can use it, and that's great. You get more value out of it that way. But I am not a fan of it, and with how good these ARs are, I would love for an enemy to try to use this to escape me. If someone wants to like get out of a fight with me and they throw this down, I'm going to beam them with these ARs, and I feel like a lot of you probably agree with that. So I'm not too big of a fan of the throwable launch pads. Like I don't mind having it in the game, but it's not something I really want to carry at all. Next, I guess we could rank the auto shotgun. I might put the C tier. I don't really know. Like, it's not D tier, but I also don't think it's good, and I pretty much never want to use it, and that's kind of how I felt about it last season, too. I've just never enjoyed this shotgun. I think this is how an auto shotgun should be. If I was, in charge of balancing the game, the auto shotgun would always be mid, because I feel like the main benefit of an auto shotgun should just be that it's easier to use and less punishing if you miss shots, but it should never be the best option. So I like where this auto shotgun is, and the only time I ever use this is if I'm like off spawn, and that's what I've had access to at that point in the game. Next, we'll do Sentinel Pump. It's between A and S tier. I really like the Sentinel Pump, and as a controller player, I like it even more this season because they did fix the aim assist problems that this weapon had. If you guys didn't know, last season, the Sentinel Pump had like no aim assist or very bugged aim assist. It was very inconsistent, whereas now it feels consistent, smooth, and good. And so I already enjoyed it last season with like broken or inconsistent aim assist, and now with it being a little more viable on my input method, I definitely enjoy it more. So we'll put the Sentinel Pump at S tier, but I could also see it in A. It's like, I just enjoy it probably more than some other people do. Mammoth Pistol will also be S tier. I'm not the biggest fan of this item. I don't like using it as much, but you can't deny how good this thing is. And if you get the mythic version with 2 bullets in the mag, like, you are cooking. So a lot of people are going to combo this with the pump and kind of, you know, throw out a mammoth shot and then back to the pump. I don't like that as much, because if you miss the mammoth shot, or, you know, your pump shot isn't great, that fight is rougher for you than it needs to be. I would rather just use pump AR and just, you know, have a consistent playstyle that I can play in every fight and not really have to adapt as much, like, in the moment, if my shotgun shot doesn't hit great or my mammoth shot doesn't hit. This playstyle definitely gets a lot better when you have the mythic one, because then you have 2 shots. But either way, this weapon is a problem in game. And what I mean by problem is, like, if someone's using it and they're good with it, they're going to be a problem for you to deal with. Like, I'm not going to say it needs to get nerfed or removed. I mean problem in the sense that, like, it's a good item and you're, you know, you're going to lose games sometimes this season. That's just kind of how it goes. So the Mammoth is S tier. Next, we can rank this SMG. I have never had a high opinion of this gun. Like, I've just never enjoyed it. And I feel like this season, without the Night Rose medallion, it's even worse, because last season, the fact that the mythic one also came with the ammo regenerating medallion made it so that if you liked using that SMG, get the mythic, get the medallion, and that makes the SMG a lot better, because the mag size on this thing is not that great. But even now, with, like, I never liked it before, and I like it even less now, because if I was going to use this, I would want that ammo medallion, and the ammo medallion is God this season. So I don't rank this too highly. I feel like I could put it at C tier, honestly. I guess we'll put it at B tier. I think I have a lower opinion of most people on this gun, but I've just never been a fan of it. I think the collateral damage AR is a significantly better spray weapon, and we're going to put that at S tier. If I wanted to use a dedicated spray weapon to combo with a pump, there is no question in my mind that the collateral damage AR is better than the suppressed SMG. It even shoots faster while being an AR. The bloom on this is not that great. Like, it's decently inaccurate, but that's not going to be a problem in any fights where you're using shotgun spray. If I'm, like, fighting somebody 30 meters away, that bloom could be a problem, but that's not a situation where I would be using this in. So I'll put the collateral damage at A tier. Another weapon that I think is just very mid, this is going to be the suppressed pistol. I don't know why the picture is cut off like that, but I never have been a fan of this in Chapter 6. There was past seasons where I didn't mind using the suppressed pistol, most notably the Shadow Tracker Exotic. But the Shadow Tracker had more bullets in the mag. I think it had 16, whereas this has 12. And then also in Chapter 4, there was, like, the Pistol Amp Light Fingers augments that you could use to get larger magazines and faster reload. With 12 bullets in the mag, I just don't feel happy with that. And then again, if I was going to use a dedicated spray weapon, why would I ever be using this over the collateral damage AR? Even the Hollow Twister, I think, is a better spray weapon than this, like, comboing with a pump. So I've not been too high on the suppressed pistol in Chapter 6. Next, we'll put the plasma laser. I'm going to put this at B tier. I think I have a lower opinion of this than a lot of people. There's probably people that would put this D tier that haven't used it, but it is quite good. I know that there's a lot of people that would maybe put it A or S, but I'm going to put it B. It kills decently fast. I think it's decently easy to use. The fact that it doesn't have to reload, it just kind of has a charge effect, is nice. I just didn't like the pullout time on it most. Again, this is kind of filling a role that the collateral damage AR also fills. So I just don't feel as, like, motivated to run it. And with it having a low or a bad pullout time, if I'm swapping from pump to this, which is how I would be playing if I was going to have this in my inventory, that pullout time is just not the greatest. So I don't know. I don't really care for this. Off spawn, it can be good, but, like, kind of off spawn, you got to use what you can use. As I said, though, I think I have a lower opinion of this item than a lot of people who really enjoy it. Sniper, I think I'm going to put A tier. I haven't really used it that much, but people that I do know who enjoy sniping have seemed to really like the sniper rifle. It does have a decent amount of drop, which makes it difficult to use and makes it more of, like, a high skill weapon. It counters cars decently good. If you enjoy using the sniper, griefing cars with it is really nice because you save medium ammo that way. And it kind of, like, stops the car in its tracks and kind of, like, knocks it around. So if someone's trying to escape from you in a car, this sniper can just, like, basically decide that isn't happening. And the fire rate on it is pretty good for a bolt. I believe it has, like, 3 rounds and then you have to, like, full reload. So the fire rate is good. It grieves cars. It hits hard. I don't think it 200s to the head at every rarity, but I think gold and mythic can. Either way, I think this is a good sniper. It's just not really something I want to use because of I would rather run double mobility, but I think this sniper is good. What to do next? Sticky launcher, I might put this A tier. I haven't used this very much. I don't really like using explosive weapons like this, and I also haven't played against it very much, but I have seen people complaining about just like comboing this with shockwaves and then just shocking up and shooting down with it, and that's definitely something that can work. Any sort of, you know, spammy explosive weapon like this is going to be annoying in the right circumstances, so I guess we'll put it A tier. But honestly, I don't ever use it. Like I could put it C tier too, and that would be fine with me. Next we can do the Sub-Zero gauntlets. I think I'm gonna put this A tier. The slide isn't the greatest. I don't enjoy using it that much. The fact that it can negate fall damage is good. I've never really used the attack on it. It's kind of like a melee weapon, and I don't ever want to use a melee weapon in a shooter ever as a melee weapon. Like I hated it. It gets boring and skillless. Like what's enjoyable to me in a video game, especially a PvP video game, is feeling like, you know, my decision making and my input on the game actually determined the outcome of the game. And with melee weapons, I feel like you just spam the attack button and then, you know, you get the kill sometimes. And so I've never gotten any enjoyment or satisfaction using melee weapons, but as a mobility item, I think this is good. If the bat wasn't in the game, I would probably be running shockwaves and these gauntlets. But since the bat is in the game, I'd rather run shockwaves and bat. The fact that this can be used to negate fall damage is really valuable when playing against the bat in certain scenarios, but it's still not something I want to use all of the time. This is the recon scanner. I'm going to put this at A tier. I think it's very good in the situations I use it, but it's not something I ever want to carry around. So this is really good in the vault locations because you throw this down and then it periodically scans and marks people in the area, and it's just like a stationary thing. So I feel like you don't really get that much value carrying this around throughout the course of the game. But if you're going to be fighting in one set area for, you know, a while, and you know you're decently likely to get third partied during that time, I think this recon scanner is very good, and that's something that's going to happen a lot when you're at the vault POIs. And one nice thing about this is it can come in the heist bags, which are all around the vault POIs. So it's not that hard to come by if you are at the vault POI. And then it solves a problem that you'll often have at the vault POI. So I think this is quite good, even though I don't want to actively carry it. If I'm at a vault POI or I'm pushing a vault POI to third party, having this to mark potential third parties or mark the person fighting the vault already, that way I get an easier time third partying them, I think is very good. So I feel like this is a very balanced item. It's perfect in some situations, but it's not like something that's perfect all the time or that you just need to carry all the time. So I think that's good. Thermite, should I put this D tier? I've never used this outside of opening the vault doors. Like I don't even know. I guess it can break structures and stuff. I don't ever see myself using it outside of the heist effect. So I guess we'll put it D tier. I don't know. Now we're getting to the point where items are weird to rank. So this gold rush medallion, this medallion gives you the gold rush effect if you're sprinting. And so you'll have faster sprint and you can knock people around if you sprint into them. And that is really nice, I think, because it's a decent counter to the melee users. Like we already established, I think the bat is one of the better items in the game right now, and it's something a lot of people are using. If you have this medallion, you can just sprint into them and knock them back, and that can make what would be a dangerous fight a lot easier to play. So I like having this medallion at all times to counter the bat in some situations, but also it's just enjoyable to run around with that. And if you have a gold rush and the bat, you can kind of just sprint around and slide, like spam the slide constantly, and you go really fast, and you do that for a while because the bat kind of doubles your stamina. So that combo is really good. I really enjoy having this medallion. The other medallion is terrible. We'll put that at D tier. This gives you a shield bubble when you're healing, but that shield bubble doesn't even last long enough for you to use an entire big pot. There are some niche situations where this could maybe save your life, but I don't think it's worth going for. You have to defeat Shogun X on Island, which is not necessarily a difficult task. Like fighting him is not hard, but you put yourself in a situation where enemies are easily able to get the drop on you. And last season that was worth because his medallion was very good, but this medallion is terrible. And putting yourself on the map for this, I see no benefit. So I don't ever want to use this medallion. I think it's terrible. The gold rush splashes, I would put either S or A. As I kind of already established with the medallion, I like having the gold rush effect. The splashes give you the entirety of the gold rush effect, so the medallion only gives it to you while you're sprinting, which makes it to where you can't really use the pickaxe aspect of the gold rush. So gold rush also increases your melee damage and makes it to where you can use your melee more, and the pickaxe counts as a melee weapon. And so this is really good if you know you're pushing somebody around a car that's just going to get in the car and run, because then you have like a boosted pickaxe effect. And I think the pickaxe trick is very easy to do. If you guys don't know how to do it, you have to hold your pickaxe out, hold your swing button, and then tap get in the car and look at the person you want to pickaxe. Like, people make it out to be like it's some grand like timing thing. You hold one button and tap another, and then look at the person in the car you want to pickaxe. So I think once you get in the habit of it, it's very easy to do. And also, when fighting certain people, I think it's very obvious when they're about to get in their car and just try to run. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but there's certain people I fight where it's just like, I know this person is going to get in the car if I push them. I like popping a gold rush splash before that. And then also the splashes have just been a very good healing item kind of at all times in Fortnite. So this is my favorite heal to carry. The Chug Jug is also a very good healing item. I think a lot of people would also put this at S tier. If you guys don't know, they reworked the Chug Jug to work like the Chapter 5 heal rework where you get health over time from it. What's really nice is you can use what you need and then save it for later. It's not like a big pot where once you start using it, it's gone. And then it heals both white and blue. It heals white first. And then it has 200. So you have 200 health in one item. It's quite good. What I don't like about it though is that it takes 2 seconds to start healing you, and that just feels like incredibly long to me. It's really not. Like, a big pot takes 1 second to start healing you, so it's not that different. But I feel like in like bad situations or sketchy situations, I find myself wishing I had splashes or the big pots instead of the chug. But the chug is certainly good, and I think most people, this is going to be their favorite healing item. This med mist grenade is like C or B, I guess. Like, I'm never going to carry this. I just don't care to. It can be used, I think people use it in like competitive for heal off. Like, it's decently helpful for that, but like pubs should never go to heal off. It's really the only time I ever use this is if I eliminate an enemy that has it, or maybe off spawn. And in those situations, it's kind of nice because you can throw this down and then heal your white health while you're like drinking a big pot or something to heal your shield. So like, it is nice, but it's just not something I ever want to carry. Porta bunkers will put at A tier. It's just, you know, tried and true. They're very good for zero build. Situationally, they're one of the better things to have in the game. I feel like I don't have to go into it too much because it's been in the game for years, and it's a very simple item. Like, you just throw it down and you have cover. In a zone where there's not very much cover, this gives you a ridiculous advantage and can just potentially win the game outright. It's not something I really like carrying for public matches, though. I would rather just carry double mobility and then play pretty aggressive. But like, there will be times where maybe the zone I know is just going to be a bad zone, and then maybe I take these if I have the opportunity to. Like, if I see them end game and I know it's a rough zone, then I'd maybe take them. Or if I run out of mobility, then I don't mind having this, but I rarely actively choose to carry bunkers. The new Porta cover, I think is what this is called. I don't like this thing at all. I've never carried it, as I just kind of outlined. I don't like carrying cover items in pubs. I just don't think it's necessary. If you play very aggressive. Anytime I've seen anybody use these though, it just wasn't effective, and I don't enjoy fighting them, or I don't enjoy fighting around them. Like, I've had times where an enemy used it, I push him, I eliminate him, and then now I kind of have his Porta cover, and every fight I've had around them just feels awkward, and so I don't want to use this. I don't think highly of it. Now we're going to get into the boons. These are rough because I don't know all of them just based on picture. So this is the adrenaline rush one. This gives you the slap effect, which is unlimited sprint anytime you mantle or do a wall jump. And the amount of the amount of time you get unlimited sprint is not incredible. The thing is, though, it's very easy to do a wall jump or to do a mantle. Like, you can just trigger that whenever you want. So I really like having this boon, and you can actually get this from the black market at Magic Mosses. I rarely kind of go out of my way for it though, just because I'd rather go to the Crime City one and get the Mythic Pump, and I feel in a rush to do that typically. But if I'm around the Magic Mosses one and I don't feel rushed to go to the Crime City one, like maybe I already have the Mythic Pump, I definitely like having this Adrenaline Rush boon. Vulture boon makes it to where you see where enemies are eliminated on the map. I think this is decent information. If you see a lot of skulls popping off in a certain area, then you know there's, fights going down there. I think this is probably even better in team game modes because the fights last longer and people will die more during the fight. If you want to play aggressive and just constantly look for fights, I enjoy having this. If you don't care to do that, it's probably not that great. I don't know what this boon does. Like the rest of them, I don't know by picture. So I think this one gives you ammo when you pick up gold bars. That's fine, I guess. The thing with ranking the boons that makes it hard is you're not giving anything up for using them. You can carry them all at once. Whereas like a lot of these other items, the reason why ranking them would matter is because like you're choosing to use them over using something else because you only have a certain amount of inventory slots. The boons aren't like that. So it's not like this hurts you. I'm not excited to have this. This, I believe, gives you more gold bars from eliminations. Same thing. I don't think gold is a problem this season. I typically go to the vault POIs, so I don't have a hard time getting gold at all. So I guess we'll put that C tier. Like I said, it's not like all of them could be S tier in the sense that you don't give anything up for them and it's just a benefit. But just thinking about how I feel about the benefit is kind of how I'm ranking them, and I just don't care for that much. And then this one, I believe, makes it to where if you open a chest or container or break the chest or container, you get the gold rush effect. This is somewhat helpful. Anytime you can get gold rush is nice. I feel like if I'm opening chests though, it's rarely going to be in a situation where a fight is happening. The best aspect of this, I feel like, is when you get it at a vault POI, because then you can open the chest in the vault, trigger your gold rush, and then use that gold rush to faster break the structures in the vault that give you gold, like the cases or the gold stacks. So it's nice for that, but it's not really game changing. I feel like all of these other boons could not be in the game at all and it wouldn't affect me at all. These are the only two I actually really care about having. And then the other ones are just like, okay, I'll take it, I guess. But I'm not like excited to have it. And I don't feel like how I play is going to be changed by having it at all. And then as I said, the other heals I don't really feel like ranking. Big Pots and Shieldfish would maybe be S tier. But the thing about Shieldfish that's rough this season is the spawn rate of them is quite bad. So getting a refresh on them is not as easy as it was last season. And then like minis, big pots, and medkits would just, or minis, bandages, and medkits, I guess would be like B or C tier. It's just, it really doesn't matter that much. Medkits would be S tier in the event that you're trying to play for heal off and competitive. But as I said earlier, that rarely happens in public matches. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found this to be, helpful, informative, interesting. Let me know how you would rank the items this season down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.